Hello and welcome to a new week of meals. This is actually a combo of 2 weeks put together. Managed to somehow still get it within 15 minutes. I think the meals that I've been cooking have just been really, really easy and fast and are not super involved, so there aren't very many steps to show. But here you go. I'm starting off with the first meal. These are chicken thighs, bone in, skin on. I'm just cooking them in the air fryer here, and then I'm going to do them two ways. So for Colin, I'm doing the Yoshida marinade. So once the chicken is fully cooked, I'm going to go ahead and just roll it around, douse it in the marinade here just to coat it, and then I'm going to put that back in for a little bit just to get it more brown and kind of caramelized. So while that's going and the other three pieces of chicken are continuing to cook and kind of brown in there, I am going to show you exactly what that looks like. So you can see it's kind of browned on the outside. It looks really tasty and it was so good. Nice and caramelized. Served his with some rice and broccoli. And then in the meantime, as the rest of the chickens are going, I am going to create a buffalo sauce. So this is the second way I'm doing it. Just kind of doing buffalo style. Got some Frank's Red Hot here, buffalo sauce, mixing with some butter. Now that's quite a lot of butter. I actually don't think you need to use that much butter, but we like butter. So I'm going to add some minced garlic as well, just to add flavor, and a bit of powdered onion, and then that's going into the microwave so I can melt the butter. I'm just going to stir that around, and then once the chicken is done, again, just wanted to get it nice and crispy and kind of finish up in the air fryer. I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the marinade for Colin's chicken. I'm just going to douse it in this buffalo sauce, and then that's going to be ready to serve. Really, really easy with blue cheese dressing. We didn't have any like veggies or anything like that, so just ate it as is. We're super simple, as I mentioned. We did have rice, so that was available as an option, but there you go, just covering and coating the chicken in the buffalo sauce. And there you go. You can see the nice bits of garlic chunks in there. If you've never done it with the minced garlic, I would highly recommend it if you like the garlic. It just adds a little something, something, you know what I mean? So there you go. There is the buffalo chicken. And then we had Colin's with his rice and broccoli. And that was the first meal of this week. All of these meals are super, super easy and fast because we are doing a lot of traveling, trying to get Colin situated and moved into college. So I'm trying to go through all of our clearance stuff in the freezer. I have some sweet Italian sausage with some ground beef here and a partially open jar of marinara sauce. Here are some seasonings I'm going to use for this Italian themed dinner. It's basically going to be like a spaghetti, but you'll see shortly. I'll show you exactly what I use since I'm trying not to eat as much pasta and bread and all of that stuff. But again, just browning the meats until those are fully cooked. Going to season with all the other stuff that I had laid out. Onion powder, Italian seasoning. I believe there was some what do you call it? Parsley, maybe not. Look at this huge dollop spoonful of minced garlic. So yummy. We love garlic in the house. And we're going to season with some black pepper as well. I'm going to use the jar of the marinara sauce that I have, the Prego's Farmers Market. But I noticed as I was stirring this all together that it wasn't as saucy as I wanted it to be, so I ended up using a bit of arrabbiata sauce that I had in the cabinet, in the cupboard. So here we go. Just going to finish this up and I'll show you what it looks like at the end. Shake that up with a little bit of water to make sure I get as much of that out of the jar as possible. Here it is. You can see it's really, really meaty, really nice and hearty, but again, just wanted a little bit saucier, so I do add that arrabbiata. So while the guys had a regular pasta, I picked up this Trader Joe's Hearts of Palm pasta, quote unquote pasta, a while back. Decided to finally use it. So it comes in this little vacuum sealed packet, And it really resembles pasta a lot. It really, really does. And if you've ever had hearts of palm before, it's very mild in flavor. It really just kind of picks up what, whatever sauce it's in. But I liked it. I actually really quite liked it. I think my favorite is still zoodles. I still like making zucchini noodles. I like the texture of it. This texture was just fine. I mean, it's exactly what it is. It's basically shredded hearts of palm, which are delicious. I do like them. But this is great for convenience. But here you go. I'm just spooning over the meat sauce. You can see nice and meaty over the hearts of palm pasta. And I would buy that again, I think. But again, just my preference taste-wise, I really do like the really more neutral flavor of the zucchini. So just topping with some parsley and some, green shaker Parmesan cheese, and that's mine right there. Again, guys had theirs with regular pasta, but this was super tasty. I mean, the meat sauce, you can't beat it. Sausage and ground beef and just really yummy tomato sauce. So there you go. That was the next meal. Another easy throw together meal here. I've got some leftover bacon. I bought bits and ends just because it was like way cheaper than trying to buy bacon at the store. Bacon is ridiculously expensive now. So bacon, bits and ends it is. And here is some Alfredo sauce I got on clearance. These were 97 cents each for the containers. Got some frozen broccoli there that I had defrosted. I'm going to cook up some macaroni because that's the pasta I have. I have macaroni. I have like random bits of different kinds of pasta. So I'm going to mix the cooked broccoli with the cooked pasta. Going to throw in the bacon. They really look kind of like more like smoked ham, actually. Nice hearty pieces of meat. So there you go. I'm going to mix that together. I'm going to throw in the Alfredo sauce. This is going to go into the oven to bake. So this is like really fast, really easy, and so really flavorful because you've got like the Alfredo sauce and then you've got like the saltiness of the meat. But there you go. You can see as I'm as I'm tossing this together, I'm thinking to myself, why did I not start with a bigger bowl? Like I usually have a really, really good sense of spatial awareness. I have pretty good spatial awareness. For some reason, I just did not pick the bigger bowl, but here you go. It was big enough to stir everything together. And once it's all combined, I'm going to take a baking dish, just going to pour it in there. I'm not even going to grease it. It stayed nice and moist and saucy still, actually, when I took it out of the oven. But this is just going to go into the oven to warm together. I'm going to top it with some shaker Parmesan cheese and some pizza blend cheese to melt. So here you go, dumping it into the baking dish. It was really creamy. I mean, the sauce was good. It was good. 97 cents for one of those. I did reserve the second container of sauce just in case. I thought perhaps it might dry out in the oven, that the pasta would absorb the sauce and, it's just hot, so the liquid would evaporate, but it stayed really nice and creamy out of the oven. So we're going to top it with the cheese, put it into the oven until the cheese is melted, and that'll be pretty much ready to serve. There you go. I did turn the broiler on for just a couple seconds afterwards to brown it a teeny tiny bit. But here you go. As I'm going in here, you can see how just cheesy this whole thing is. And look at the sauce. It's still, well, I don't, maybe you can't see the sauce in this, but in the close-up you'll see it's still nice and saucy. But that melted cheese, ooey gooiness, so really, really yummy. I definitely would do this again. I mean, hey, what do you want for a throw together dinner? I mean, it was so tasty. Served with some leftover, I had some hot dog buns, so just made a kind of like a little garlic bread piece there. Stuck that in the oven, but you can still see it's nice and saucy and cheesy. This was a really, really good dinner, and it went over very, very well with everybody. Next up, we're just doing steak and veg. So I had these, again, clearance cuts of meat for 99 cents for 8 ounces of top sirloin. Just going to cook this up in the skillet on the stove top. You can do this, you know, to your doneness, preferred doneness. I like mine pretty reddish in the middle, so you can see here. And then I did the zucchini in the air fryer. So that was another easy meal. We're winding down the meals with the 3 of us here in the house, so, you know, it's so sad. Mom is a bit sad, but, you know, trying to enjoy these last meals together as a family of 3. So yeah, that was the next one, served with some steak sauce on the side. And then is this the last one? No, this is yet another one I'm throwing together. We are going to bring the Yoshidas back. Super easy. This one, again, there's really not a whole lot to it. I'm going to cook the extra lean ground pork. I will add a bit of salt. I'm going to add some oil because it is very, very lean. I'm going to cook that down. I'm going to add some Yoshida's marinade sauce. Then I'm going to just throw the frozen broccoli in there, serve this over some rice, and call it a night. And yeah, this was a favorite as well. That Yoshida's, it's just so good. There you go. There is the Yoshida's. I swear, every time I see this in the refrigerator, I'm going to start crying because this is Colin's favorite. It's his favorite. I mean, it's a go-to. That's why I use it so often, is because it just makes everything taste so yummy. Anyway, so I'm mixing the Yoshida sauce here with the ground pork. You can use ground beef, you can use ground chicken, whatever you like. You can add more sauce. I was waiting for it to kind of reduce a bit, but it was a little thin, so I just, towards the end, just added a little bit more sauce, just straight up, just to give it a little thickness. But there you go. There is the frozen broccoli. Just add it straight to that. The meat is already cooked. Again, just kind of waiting for it to reduce a little bit and for the broccoli to cook up. And then, yeah, serve it over rice, and that is easy, tasty dinner. Here is another fast one. This is that viral TikTok salmon bowl thing. So I'm just taking what salmon I have in the freezer. I'm going to defrost that. Got the leftover rice from the previous meal. And just going to serve this up with some sriracha, some mayo. So that is the Kewpie mayo, and that is some seaweed snacks. So I bought the mayo specifically because I was like, well, I'm going to try it, see what the hype is. I have seen it because, you know, Asian household and all. We just never ever bought it growing up. It's a good mayo. Would I necessarily buy it again? Not necessarily. But this is all you got to do, guys. You just assemble it like this. You can flake the salmon. I believe the original, they flake up the salmon. You mix everything together, kind of like a fried rice. You can use soy sauce if you wanted to season it that way. But I cut my seaweed into strips as well, and then I just topped it. And I think it looks really fancy like this, actually, with a little drips of, what do you call it? Sriracha. This is so tasty. This is really, really good. Has a little bit of that salty from the seaweed snacks, and then, you know, the spicy from the sriracha. I can see now why it's a popular, you know, viral dish, but there you go. I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching our meals the last, I don't know how many years I've been doing this. You know, our little family of three, sharing all the meals that we share together, our lunches that I've done in the past. But this is pretty much the last one for the three of us. I'm going to start crying. We're going to be down to two while college is away at Colin is away at college. But I thank you for your support. I really, really appreciate it. And I'll see you not next week, but the following week. Until then, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.